The disrespect to this guy needs to stop. Like, I'm sorry. The disrespect to one of the best defensive players in the history of the sport needs to stop. Rudy Gobert is just a punching bag. The reason why he's a punching bag is people don't like him. And I'm not gonna lie, I get it. I get why people don't like Rudy Gobert. And I do, and I'm not trying to make an argument that the guy is likable. From the whole crying for an all-star, to him hitting the mic and getting blamed for starting the pandemic. Like, the funniest part about it all is that he wasn't the first person in the NBA to get COVID. And secondly, like, he just happened to be one of the first group of people that did. And he didn't take it seriously. At a time when a lot of people weren't taking it seriously. And he just happened to be blamed for starting the pandemic. I get it. People don't like him. And then there's a lot of things. There's just a lot of things with Rudy Gobert. This season, he got put in a headlock. And now, after anchoring the best defense in the NBA, like, for years, people were like, oh, he can't play any defense in the playoffs. And it's like, well, in Utah, none of the players other than him could play defense. Their tactic was, literally, we don't play perimeter defense, and we just hope Rudy Gobert bails us out. That was their tactic. And teams in the playoffs were able to basically work around that to pull Rudy Gobert out. And when Rudy Gobert was out, they were screwed because there was no help, and it put him into one-on-one coverage. Nikola Jokić is unguardable. He is unguardable. So people are wondering why Jokić is absolutely cooking Rudy Gobert. Jokić is going to cook everybody. There was literally this move where, I can't show it on screen, but like, he basically went and, obviously for copyright reasons, I do apologize for that. He like did a spin into a spin. It was like a spin dribble into a spin the opposite way, into a like fake hook shot with his left, step through, right hand hook shot high off the glass. And I'm like, it would be like, literally, this is something that in the 90s would be considered witchcraft. People are being like, oh, in like what Kyrie did would be considered witchcraft in like the 80s. No, this like in Michael Jordan's era would be considered witchcraft. This is something like, we've never seen anything like this. People talk about Hakeem having the best post game. Nah, man, when Jokić wants to. It's a joke. It is a joke what this man can do. And it's not on Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is not the best on-ball defender there's been. He's not. And that's fine. That's fine, because that's not what his role is. Ironically enough, a lot of the time, these absolutely elite help defenders may not be the greatest on-ball defenders in the world. Like, people are saying, oh, like Dwight Howard knew how to lock down Jokić. Yeah, because he had Anthony Davis playing help. Like, if you had a Bam Adebayo and Rudy Gobert, if you somehow had that pairing, you could give Jokić a bit of trouble. With obviously Rudy Gobert off the ball. And that's hoping. Not sending so much coverage to him, but what makes him so dangerous is even if you try to do that, which they're doing a decent job. Everyone's being like, oh, Cat's holding his own. It's only when Gobert's guarding him. No, he's cooking everybody. And two, when Cat's guarding him, more often than not, Rudy Gobert is able to help. When Rudy Gobert is guarding him, there's no help, and he's just caught him one-on-one, and nobody is guarding you, Nikola Jokić, in single coverage. Absolutely nobody. Prime Ben Wallace would get cooked by this guy. And Prime Ben Wallace might be the best defender I've ever seen. Prime Ben Wallace, heck, Bam Adebayo is up there with the best defenders I've ever seen. As far as his ability to protect the rim, his ability to guard the perimeter, he's not guarding him in single coverage. You need to have help, and Rudy Gobert is so important to that Minnesota Timberwolves team. Why do you think Minnesota are suddenly one of the best teams in the world? Because they're so good on defense. And why is it that wherever Rudy Gobert goes, their team are elite on defense? Because he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable at what he does. You might be saying, oh, Jaden McDaniels is way better. Yeah, he's a better, and that's the thing, is like, NBA players going to be like, oh, this person's the best defender, it's not Rudy Gobert. Yeah, sure. Because as an NBA player, if you are being guarded by somebody one-on-one that'll guard you, you're going to think, oh, I'm finding it tough to score on this guy. You're not going to find a tough score on someone who is almost certainly a help side defender and not the best on-ball defender in the world, which Rudy Gobert is. It was like back in, and then you just see so many dumb takes. Like, for example, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not a great on-ball defender. Remember the 2021 playoffs when KD was cooking PJ Tucker and everyone being like, oh, it's a joke. Giannis has got to guard him. Giannis is their best defender. No, Giannis is their best help defender. Their best way of guarding KD was PJ Tucker on him and Giannis maybe showing a little bit of an extra body when he was driving in to basically play help defense. And that's the best thing Minnesota Timberwolves can do. If there is any situation Rudy Gobert is stuck on Nikola Jokić because they don't have that much rim protection, they don't have that much, they're leaving Rudy Gobert on an island and he is going to be screwed. Not necessarily that he's not the greatest on-ball defender in the world, but at the same time, Jokić is the best offensive scorer I may have seen. He's one of the best scorers I've ever seen. Luka when he gets hot, maybe. Kyrie when he gets hot is up there, but like in just general, in general part of the game, offensively, and Jokić is also so dangerous because he can't overhelp because he'll hit guys with passes. But what people don't seem to understand is there's multiple things on defense. And the purpose of defense is not, as in the sport of basketball, and this might be crazy, the purpose of defense is not, I want to stop my man from scoring. That is actually not the purpose of defense. It's not the purpose of defense in the NBA. It's not the purpose of defense ever. The purpose of a good defense is forcing your opponent, obviously if you can get a steal or something, depending on how you get the steal. If you get a steal from throwing yourself out of position 4 times, and every 4th possession you get a steal, but 3 out of 4 times you basically give up an open shot to your opponent, those steals are worthless. That's bad defense, regardless of what the stats are. Good defense as a team is forcing your opponent into shooting the lowest percentage shot on every possession. The lowest percentage shot that they can shoot on every single possession. That's defense. And obviously if you can get a steal and you're out, that's a 0% chance of the ball going in, so that's the best thing. But if the steal is at the expense of, if you steal it, you get a score and it's a 0% chance, but if you don't steal it, it's a wide open 3. And if they shoot that at a 50% rate, you're giving up 1.5 points for that. So it's like, it is what it is. And that's the thing when it comes to defense is, while Rudy Gobert is not the best on-ball defender, what Rudy Gobert is he basically allows on-ball defenders to play a little bit harder than they should. What he allows is, because of his rim protection, for example, a jaden McDaniels is able to put more pressure, because if he does get beat, you've got Rudy Gobert to go to. It allows Cat to guard Jokic in a certain way, because you've got Rudy Gobert there. Jokic is just too good. Jokic is an exception, but it's one of the reasons why having a rim protector as good as Rudy Gobert is so important, and how he is just, he's not necessarily Wemby-esque, but like, I think Wemby will be better, but he just is that presence. And his presence as a shot blocker allows everybody else to play more aggressive on defense because they don't have as much fear of being beat because Rudy Gobert is going to be there. Yes, in the playoffs, teams can plan around him. And that's the thing where it's like, teams don't do that in the regular season. Yes, teams can plan around them. If a team is able to get Gobert consistently out, get Gobert on an island in one-on-one situations, especially because it's very rare to have Gobert on the floor with another shot blocker. So when he does get beat, there's inevitably not as much help, so it's going to be a score. At the end of the day, like, it is what it is. First of all, Depoy is a regular season award, and Rudy Gobert, you put Rudy Gobert in any team, they become one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, in the regular season anyway. Because even Utah, whose tactic was, don't play perimeter defense, were a good defense because of how good he was in the regular season. The Defensive Player of the Year is a regular season award. Is he the best defender in the world? He's up there. He is up there. But the problem is that there are certain teams and certain systems. The Warriors system really, like, with the way they moved off the ball, kind of like minimize his effectiveness. The Warriors system, this current system with Nikola Jokić, but we saw with Phoenix how good Rudy Gobert was as far as defense is concerned. So the disrespect to this guy has got to stop. He is one of, if not the best defensive players in the world. Do I think Wemby in a couple of years is going to be better? Of course. But the disrespect has got to stop. Just because he's getting cooked by Jokić, everyone gets cooked by Jokić.